welcome to the podcast Average Black Girl. I'm your host, Danielle Mitchell, and I am so excited to be going down this podcast journey with you. A little bit about this podcast, we will be talking about business development and all things to help elevate your brand. We will also be talking about popular culture because what's a podcast without talking about a little bit of popular culture? I will also be giving some life tips as I learn things that I want to share. You guys will be the first people to know. And if you don't know, I have a blog called averageblackgirl.com and danielleamitchell.com. So they're a little bit of both. Average Black Girl is more so for marketing tips and business development, and danielleamitchell.com is for anything else, life, recipes, food reviews, that's all on there. So I wrote on my personal blog about Baychella and how I was a little bit flabbergasted about my timeline. It was majority positive, but there was some negatives. People were being extremely critical of Beyonce. And that led me to think that if your friend is a Beyonce hater, I would question their integrity. And there are 3 reasons why. 1, some people were saying that her performance wasn't all that. Now, we all saw the same thing, and that performance was epic. It was greatness. It was harmony, costume changes. It was a beautiful performance. And if you can look at something that is good, although you may not like that person, to take away from what they are doing and what their craft is, and to be such a hater that you can't give people credit when credit is due, that is a hater. And that is someone that I wouldn't want in my life, because if they can do that to someone that doesn't know them, Beyonce doesn't know that person from a can of paint, but they actually know you. And not only do they know you, I'm sure that they know your secrets too, stuff that you wouldn't want aired all over. And so if they can be a hater to a stranger, why wouldn't they be a hater to you? That's just something to think about. The next type of person is someone that says, I don't like Beyonce because everyone likes her. That person is a hater because one person is in their craft, has been able to reach out to their target, give their target exactly what they want year after year, decade after decade, and they are upset that they are doing their job and are actually, that is the definition of winning. So what is stopping them from being extremely and overly critical for you when you have a great event or a great performance or a great job at work? What is stopping them from being overly critical for you and saying that they don't like you because you're not all that? You're not all that cracked up to be. I remember when you were, sleeping at your parents' house, or I remember when you didn't make a lot of money, or I remember when you had to beg people for clients. What's stopping them from saying that to you when you're in your winning season if they can do that to someone else, especially someone that does not know them? And lastly, people were complaining that she bought Destiny's Child, she bought her sister Solange, and she bought her husband. I think that is something that is a personal issue, because that is the type of loyalty that I strive to have. I want to have that type of loyalty where people that played an integral part of who I am helped me to get to the stardom that I am to this day. I'm in the highest of my career. Life is grand, and I'm going to take those people with me. That should be applauded. But instead, people are being overly critical of that. I think that she did it in the perfect way too. She brought in people, gave them their shine, and then sent them on their way, because ultimately we were here for Beyonce, but she did a great job of strategically placing everyone so that they would get their shine. The Destiny's Child songs that she picked, everybody was able to have their own shine. The Jay-Z and Beyonce songs, she was able to feed off of his energy and vice versa. Even the dance routine with Solange, it was cute and it was all focused on her sister. So I think that she did a great job, and that is something that I get, like I said before, I strive to be. And if someone is critical of encouraging people to bring who they were, what do they say? Everyone wants to ride in the limo, but no one wants to walk or ride the bus. Those people were riding the bus with her, and now they get to ride in the limo. This is what we say that our friends don't do. But when someone does it in the highest level in one of the most watched stages, it's criticized. I have a problem with that. And ultimately, I say all that to say, if your friend is a Beyonce hater, you should think twice about how close of a friend they are. And if any of my friends are Beyonce haters, stay away from me. So I definitely want to get back to the finding your tribe, right? So I touched on it a little bit that Beyonce has found her tribe and it is great, honey. You never hear about any of her crazy business being leaked or anything like that. And it's because she's found her tribe and has kept it for a long time. So what does finding your tribe mean for you? Well, there are pros and cons to finding your tribe and figuring out who works for you and what doesn't. One of the pros is you need one. You definitely need a tribe. Humans weren't created to be alone, and it's definitely evident when you are in your own business or side hustle or just life, right? We need girlfriends. We need guy time. We need just people to come around us in the good times and in the bad. But when you have a business, you definitely need what is called an accountability partner. So an accountability partner can be someone that you call maybe every Monday and you go over your goals for the week, or it could be someone that you kind of have an idea and you want to talk it through to refine it and make sure that it's actually something that can be attainable. You'll need someone like that. But maybe you'll need a couple people. Your tribe will also change as you grow and as you start building your business. And I think that that's something that people don't really talk about. They talk about finding your tribe, but the tribe that you start with may not be the tribe that you end with, or maybe they're still around, but they may take a back end when you're in a different season. So maybe you may find a new tribe when you start a podcast. And so your old tribe can help you, but you really need people that are in media to give you the best critiques. So your tribe may change depending on what you're doing. There are also cons to the tribe that I want to talk about. So a lot of times when you're in your tribe, there are ways that it can work for you. So say that there are awards. Well, with your tribe, you can go and nominate each other for all these awards. That's a great way to use your tribe. Another way to use your tribe is they always share when you have events or something that you want to share. They'll share your stuff without cost, right? This is just something that you guys are doing for each other. But there are cons when you may not get as much out of it. So you definitely want to make sure that in your tribe, you are not always the smartest person in that tribe. You want to make sure that you are getting equal help. You want to make sure that it's beneficial mutually. And you also want to be careful about people. Like when you're all starting and you're all building your brand, it's extremely overwhelming. You really don't see when you're finally going to get into it. But after a year or two, things start really taking off. And you want to make sure that people are not jealous of you, and if they are, to identify that and pull back as need be. So what does that mean? Well, maybe you guys were talking all the time and then the talks get a little bit less frequently, but you're not unkind, right? This is a business relationship, so you want to make sure that you're not emotionally stopping anything. But if you have to take a step back because the energy is different, there's nothing wrong with that. And I want you to know that you care about your business more than anybody else, right? You are in your business 24/7. So if you feel that you have to take a break from certain things, certain people, or even certain events for a little bit, then it is okay to do that. And although that could be what some people say is a con, it is just a growing experience and something that is called life. That is normal. It is okay. There'll be more waves of good and bad as you grow. So here we are at the LinkedIn segment. This is the first segment of 3 about LinkedIn and using LinkedIn for your business or using LinkedIn for your personal brand. Either way, this is going to be useful to you. Before I get started, I want to touch on why LinkedIn is so important. So first, 1 of 3 professionals are on it. 2, 44% of LinkedIn users earn more than $75K. 3, 59% of LinkedIn users don't use Twitter. And lastly, number 4, 13% of LinkedIn users don't have a Facebook account. So this is great because unlike when you post on Facebook and post on Instagram, there's a lot of back and forth. You get a lot of the same people. With LinkedIn, you truly are in a playing field that is very unique. You're also, because you're dealing with LinkedIn professionals where a large portion of them, again, 44%, earn more than $75K. If you're looking for your next paid client or your next paid gig or your next career, LinkedIn is the place for you to thrive. So now that we talked on why, I'm going to talk to you about what is the first step of what you can do to make sure that your LinkedIn is great. Now, ultimately, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make our LinkedIn either a lead generator machine where from our LinkedIn, we're driving traffic to our blogs and our websites, or we're also looking for new clients through LinkedIn, or we're making it a lead generator in the sense that we're looking for our next opportunity, our next promotion, and we want to make sure that we look fabulous when people come to our site. So what I want to touch on is our profile. The profile is so important, and it is the first thing that people look at when they find you. So you got to make sure that this profile is perfect. And when I say perfect, I mean perfect. When people Google your name, you want to go and Google and find out what pops up. For me, it was LinkedIn. And for a lot of people, it's the same thing. So my advice here is Google what your name is and make sure that whatever pops up on the first page, perfect that. So if you have to clean some stuff up, clean it up. If you have to take some stuff down, take it down. Or if you have to change some stuff, change it. But we're going to focus on LinkedIn, so back to the topic at hand. So with your profile, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a great banner. Now, the banner will be a standard blue, a LinkedIn blue, if you don't move and change it. I suggest that you change it. If you don't have any professional pictures, don't worry. I actually have 2 blogs filled with stock images that I use. If you go to averageblackgirl.com and put in the search box stock, then you will get 2 blogs. One for feminine stock images and one for people of melanin descent. So if you need some melanin stock images or something that's super specific, so maybe you need something that is for the medical field, or maybe you need something in education, I have something that will work for you as well. So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is make sure that your profile picture is on point. Now, 9 times out of 10, your profile picture for your LinkedIn will not be the same thing for your Facebook. So you definitely want a professional profile picture taken with a high quality, high definition camera. You pretty much want it to be a headshot style, so from the chest up, and you want to look professional. There is a difference in tone from Facebook to Instagram to LinkedIn, so make sure that you follow the rules and are in line with the standard. Now, the next thing I want to touch on is the tagline. Now, a lot of people don't change this, but your tagline, if you don't do anything, by default is going to be the first title of your work history. So it's going to say account manager. But what is an account manager? Well, depending on what industry you're in, an account manager can mean totally different things. An account manager for, say, Coca-Cola is going to look totally different from an account manager from an IT space. So instead of using your work title, I would change it to an actual professional tagline. So think about it, take some time. Maybe you want to sleep on it, but you want your tagline to actually say what it is that you do. So after looking at your tagline, I should not have to say, well, can you explain to me what you do? You should answer that question in your tagline. So for me, I say that I am an international marketing strategist. What does that mean? I do marketing, I do strategy, that means I can do some consulting, and international, I have global brands that I work with and international brands that I work with, as well as local brands. So all encompassing. Then I actually go a step further and I have an additional sentence that targets my clients and my target audience. I say that I'm looking to help elevate brands from people that are working either full-time or in school. What does that mean? That means that I'm looking for people that are self-starters. I'm looking for people that already have an idea of what they're trying to do. I'm looking for people that have great work ethic, and I'm looking for people that can ultimately pay me for my services. So by targeting those two people, I am talking to my target without sounding disrespectful to people that are not in my target. Lastly, in that sentence, I have thrown in their side hustle. So if someone identifies with that word, then I'm further talking the language of my ideal target market. So you'll definitely want to start thinking about your target in your audience and how they talk and how you can more identify with them to the point that they identify with you and want to follow you and ultimately contact you. Now I want to talk about the work history. So in your work history, you definitely want to use the words that are very action oriented. What did you do at the job versus just copying exactly what the job description was? We want to know what it is that you did. So did you achieve something? Did you demonstrate something? Did you create something? What did you do? And if you have your own business and you want to put that on your work history, that's perfectly fine. I actually encourage that. But what you want to do is make sure that you create a company page for that job. If you don't, it will have a standard blue box that looks like a skyscraper and it just looks not professional. If you're not serious enough about your business to create a company page, why would I be serious enough about your business to want to be a customer and to pay you? Two more things. So the next thing I want to talk about is a custom URL. You can actually create a custom URL for LinkedIn. And if you are like me and have a very common name, Danielle Mitchell, there are a lot of other Danielle Mitchells out there. So instead of just having them search me, I can give them my URL and ensure that they connect with me and not someone else. Because yes, I have the picture and you may know what I look like, but what if you don't? What if you're listening to this podcast or you found me from a blog and you don't know what I look like from Adam? Then that URL is what's going to make you go to me and not someone else. And lastly, recommendations. LinkedIn, if done right, can be like your personal Yelp page for you as an individual. If you don't already, I would go ahead and start requesting recommendations from people that you've worked with, people that know your work ethic, people that would give you a great recommendation. I would start with just 5 a month, nothing too crazy, and keep going until you get to 20 or what your industry is. If your industry is filled with recommendations, then you're going to need to do a little bit more. But if your industry, if you're searching people and they don't have any recommendations, then 20 will put you at the top of the list. So if you like what I'm saying and this is interesting to you, I definitely want to let you guys know that if you go to my university, Above Average University, we have a free LinkedIn 3-day course going on right now that will get you all together. It's a 3-day video course of me talking to you with video. So I'm showing you exactly how to create your company page and come up with content and all types of stuff. Plus, you get a checklist that you can download to make sure that your LinkedIn is up to perfection. That leads me to the end. I want to wrap up with the overall thought of consistency. Consistency is key. Consistency is key. Consistency is key. So what does that mean? Well, if you're frustrated with your analytics, or if you're frustrated with where you are as far as finding a new job or finding a tribe or hitting your goals, whatever it is, know that that's normal. We all have off days and we all have on days. And when you're on, ride that wave. I'm having a really on year, so I am opening and trying everything that's in my idea and that was on my notebook. We are crossing that off because I know not every year is an on year. So understand that being consistent, planning for next month now or planning for next quarter now is normal. It's something that a lot of people do. And although you may not see the fruits of your labor right now, if you're preparing for that rainy day, if you're consistent with your posting, if you're consistent with your branding, if you're consistent with your strategy, it will come to fruition and you will reap those benefits. All right, well, that is the end for me. I hope you guys tune in and let me know, what is one of your favorite business tips that you use either professionally or with your brand? All right, guys, so you can reach me at averageblackgirl.com, on Instagram and Facebook at averageblackgirl. On Twitter, you can find me at AVG Black Girl, and on Pinterest, you can find me at A Black Girl 2015. I will talk to you soon. Bye.